The autumn wind carried the scent of pine and distant snow as Jed Halverson guided his horse down the winding trail towards Cedar Ridge. He hadn't been to town in nearly 3 months, and he wouldn't be now if not for the empty shelves in his mountain cabin. Salt flour, coffee. The simple things even a man who'd chosen solitude couldn't live without. At 42, Jed cut a striking figure against the golden aspens. His beard, once black, now showed threads of silver that caught the late sunlight. Broad shoulders filled out his old buckskin jacket, and his scarred hands held the reins with the calm control of a man who'd survived hard years and harder losses. Folks in Cedar Ridge still remembered him from before Sarah died of fever 6 winters back. But they said the same thing now whenever his name came up. Jed Halverson ain't smiled since the town came into view around a bend. Rough-hewn buildings pressed close against the mountainside like they were bracing for a storm. Smoke curled from chimneys. The clang of a blacksmith echoed through the valley, and the smell of horses, whiskey and wood smoke mixed in the sharp air. Jed pulled his hat lower, hoping to finish his business quick and ride back before dark. But as he reached the main street, a strange noise caught his attention. A crowd gathered near the square, mostly men, their voices carrying with cruel laughter. He almost rode past, but his horse slowed on its own. As if sensing his unease. Come on, gentlemen, a voice shouted from the platform. Surely someone here needs a woman about the house. Strong as an ox eats less than one. The speaker was Howard Briggs, a man Jed knew to be meaner than a cornered coyote and twice as greedy. Beside him stood a woman, or what seemed to be one. A rough grain sack was pulled over her head, her hands tied in front. She ain't much to look at, Briggs went on, his laughter sharp and ugly. But she work hard. A man could do worse if you don't mind his company quiet. The crowd shifted. Some men chuckled. Others looked away in shame. A few women on the edges pulled their shawls tight and hurried off. What's her story? Someone called. Let's just say her first arrangement didn't work out, Briggs said, spitting tobacco juice. Her former suitor decided she wasn't worth the trouble. Too wild, too peculiar. One man's trash, gentleman. The words made Yet's jaw tighten. The figure on the platform didn't flinch, but her shoulders squared, her chin lifted. That small, proud motion struck Jed harder than the cold air. $5? Someone called Mockingly. Y.5? You insult me, Briggs barked. She can work dawn to dusk. Worth 10 times that, I'd say. Then why the sack? Another voice challenged. If she's such a prize, let's see her face. Terms of sale, Briggs said quickly. Previous owner insisted. Said it's better this way. Trust me, you're not buying her for her pretty looks. The laughter that followed was cruel. Jed felt something burn deep in his chest. Anger, pity, something else he didn't care to name. He'd seen men sell horses, cattle, even dogs, but never a human soul. $3. Someone muttered. 2 damaged goods. The woman's hands tightened to fists. Briggs's smile faltered. Come now, she's a Christian woman, knows her letters. Can cook. And keep house. This ain't right, Briggs, came a deep voice from the crowd. Samuel Morrison, the blacksmith. You can't sell people. Right or wrong ain't my concern. Briggs snapped. I'm just handling a legal transaction. He waved a paper in the air. Any serious offers before I take her to the next town? Silence. The laughter had died now, replaced by uneasy murmurs. The woman swayed slightly, exhausted. Jed wondered how long she'd stood there on display like livestock. Going once, Briggs called. Going twice. $10. The words came from Yet's mouth before he realized he'd spoken. The crowd turned in surprise. The mountain man who never spoke to anyone, who lived like a ghost, had just bought himself a bride. Briggs's grin returned fast. $10 to Mr. Halverson. Do I hear 15? No response. Sold. To the mountain hermit himself. The laughter returned. But Jed didn't care. He swung down from his horse, pulled a worn wallet from his coat, and climbed the steps. Up close, he saw the woman was tall, nearly his height. The rough sack hid her face, but her bearing, straight and proud, told him enough. Whatever she'd done, she wasn't broken. The papers, Jed said quietly. Briggs handed them over, his greed shining through. She's all yours. Good luck. You'll need it. He leaned close, voice dropping. Best keep that sack on till you're clear of town. Trust me. Jed ignored him. Ma single quotes am, he said softly. his voice rough from disuse. Can you ride? A small nod beneath the sack. My horse is there. We'll be leaving now. He reached to guide her, but she pulled back, offering her bound wrists instead. Jed untied the rope, noting the raw skin beneath. Then, without another word, they walked through the parted crowd. Jed helped her mount, then swung up behind her. She sat stiff as a fence post, but didn't protest. As his arm reached around her for the reins, they rode out of Cedar Ridge. Briggs called after them. Remember, Halverson, no returns. The words faded into the cold mountain wind. For a long while, neither spoke. The forest closed around them, the sound of hooves soft on the pine needles. Finally, her muffled voice came from under the sack. Why, Jed? Thought for a moment before answering. Didn't seem right. Nobody deserves that. She was silent for a long time. Then softly, you don't know what you've bought. Didn't buy anything, he said. Just paid to get you away from that crowd. Another long pause, then. Thank you. They rode on. The sun sank behind the peaks, the world turning silver with twilight. Somewhere far below, a wolf howled. The woman didn't flinch. If anything, she seemed to breathe easier, as though the wilderness was kinder than the town they'd left behind. The moon rose over the ridgeline. Jed finally saw the outline of his cabin. A squat shape against the trees, smoke curling faintly from its chimney. He dismounted, helped her down. She stood still, her breath visible in the cold air, waiting. Inside, Jed lit a kerosene lamp. Warm light spread over the simple room. A bed. A small table, shelves of dried goods. Everything neat and quiet. You can sit, he said. I'll get the fire going. She obeyed, her movements careful. He poured water, set it near her hands. You must be thirsty, she hesitated. The sack, she murmured. I'll take it off. Jed said gently. If you're willing. A moment's pause. Then she nodded. He loosened the twine around her neck and lifted the sack away. The light revealed her face bit by bit. A strong jaw, high cheekbones, a scar running from temple to cheek, hair roughly cut, dark auburn streaked with silver. But it was her eyes that stopped him cold. One deep brown, one pale green. Striking, defiant, unforgettable. Yet's breath caught, but he said only, water's fresh. Brought it from the spring this morning. Something flickered across her face. Surprise, maybe? Are you hungry? He asked. Got some stew I can warm. I don't want to be trouble. She whispered. No trouble. I need to eat anyway. He stirred the pot over. The fire, the smell of herbs filling the room. My name is Mara, she said after a long silence. Just Mara. Jed Halverson, he replied. She studied him. Alone up here? 6 years now. Her gaze dropped to the fire. And now you have me. What am I to you? Mr. Halverson? You paid money. You have papers. As far as I'm concerned, Jed said, turning toward her. You're a guest who needed help out of a bad place. Nothing more. You'd let me leave? Come morning. If you want to go, I'll take you wherever you need to be. We can burn that. Paper Briggs gave me right now. Mara looked at him a long time. Why would you do that? $10 is no small thing. Jed shrugged. Money is just money. Can always earn more. Can't always live with yourself if you watch wrong being done. Her eyes softened a little. You'll take the bed tonight, he said. I'll sleep by the fire. I couldn't. You could, and you will. She hesitated. Then nodded. The man who had me before, she said quietly. He'll come looking. Let him. Yet's voice was quiet, steady. This is my land. No one takes what's mine. Mara gave a small, tired smile. It's been a long time since anyone showed me kindness without asking payment. No payment needed. Just rest. As she lay down facing the wall, Jed watched the firelight flicker across her scarred face. She wasn't beautiful, not in the way of fragile women, but there was something fierce and alive about her that stirred something deep inside him. He banked the fire, stretched out on the floor. Outside, the wind whispered through the pines. Inside, 2 lonely souls, one haunted, one hunted, began the slow work of thawing from years of cold. The first week passed in uneasy peace. Mara rose with the dawn, moving about the cabin quietly while Jed handled his morning chores. She insisted on working. Cooking, mending, cleaning. But she did it with a quiet confidence that surprised him. She wasn't meek, just deliberate. Every move she made had purpose. Like someone who'd spent years learning to survive on her own, Jed found himself growing used to her presence in small ways. the sound of her humming while she stirred the stew, the smell of soap on her hands when she folded laundry, the soft creak of the floorboards under her light steps. His cabin didn't feel so empty anymore. On the 8th night, as snow began to fall again, she finally spoke of her past. They were sitting by the fire, Jed oiling his traps, Mara mending socks by lamplight. His name was Garrett Walsh, she said quietly, not looking up. He owned the Double Bar Ranch. Jed froze for a moment, the cloth in his hands stilling. He knew the name. Everyone in the territory? Did. A rich man with a mean streak and a talent for hiding it behind. Money. My father owed him a debt. Gambling. Mara's voice stayed steady.